Welcome to today's explainer. So, have you ever noticed how your Wi-Fi seems to completely slow down at the absolute worst possible moment? Yeah, we've all been there. You finally sit down to get some work done, or maybe you're just ready to relax and stream a movie, and suddenly, bam, the internet just crawls to a halt. It is incredibly annoying. But today, we're actually going to tackle that exact problem and empower you to fix that sluggish internet yourself.
Now, when the connection drops, our immediate reaction is usually just to blame the provider, right? The company's sending the bill. But here's the secret. It's probably not your provider's fault. No way. The real issue is actually way closer to home. It's your setup. We're paying for these super high speeds, but the way we actually configure things inside our own walls, that's what bottlenecks the whole shebang.
So here's our diagnostic mission for today. 1. Why your Wi-Fi lags. 2. Finding the hidden villains. 3. The lighthouse placement fix. And 4. The quick diagnostic test.
Part 1. Finding the hidden villains. What's blocking your signal?
Okay, we really need to figure out why your router might be sitting in literally the absolute worst possible spot in your house right now. And you've got to consider the sheer randomness of these hidden villains. We're talking microwaves and fish tanks. I mean, it's kind of comical, right? The idea that heating up a burrito or, giving your goldfish a nice aquatic home could be the exact reason your video call drops. But honestly, that's just the reality of wireless signals.
To really understand what's happening with your setup, you have to identify these physical interference zones. See, your Wi-Fi signal doesn't just magically bypass physical objects. It actually has to fight its way through them. Walls are a standard obstacle, for sure, but appliances like microwaves or really dense things like water-filled fish tanks, they can severely block those signals. So identifying these interference zones is absolutely crucial. It's the very first step to figuring out how to move your router for maximum coverage. Because if your router is hiding behind a tank of water or a thick wall, it just simply cannot do its job. Part 2. The Lighthouse Placement Fix. Rethinking your router.
Which brings us to this really brilliant piece of advice directly from our source material. Quote, think of your router like a lighthouse. It needs a clear view, unquote. I want you to literally stop seeing your router as just this annoying, glowing plastic box that you try to hide behind the couch. Instead, try to start imagining it as a towering, bright lighthouse. I mean, a lighthouse can't warn ships if it's buried behind a mountain, right? Well, your router operates on that exact same principle.
This perfectly illustrates what we call the lighthouse effect. Imagine your router is actively emitting this continuous beam of light, just sweeping out, trying to pierce through the house and reach into the different room corners. For that lighthouse beam to actually reach its destination, your phone, your laptop, your smart TV, it needs an unobstructed path. If there's a fish tank in the way, that beam of light just hits the water and shatters, leaving that corner of your living room in total darkness, or, a massive Wi-Fi dead zone.
So let's contrast a bad setup with a good one so we can actually fix this. Bad placement? That means putting it super low to the ground, near metal objects, or somewhere with a totally blocked view. Good placement means putting it high up, keeping it central in your home, and far away from metal. By putting it high and central, you're giving that lighthouse beam the absolute best vantage point to sweep freely and deeply into all those room corners we were just talking about.
Now, before we move on to the actual test, here's an incredible bonus tip from the source. Grab a Wi-Fi analyzer app. You can just download one right to your phone. It kind of acts like a pair of special glasses, letting you visually track exactly where that invisible lighthouse beam drops off. It completely takes the guesswork out of the equation. You can actually walk around your house and literally watch the numbers dip the second you step behind a wall or near an appliance, proving exactly where those interference zones are.
Part 3. The quick diagnostic test. Finding the dead zones.
Okay, so now we enter the practical application phase. The magic number for this diagnostic test is 3. We are going to test exactly 3 rooms right now, just to get an accurate instant map of your home signal health.
And here is the exact 3-step diagnostic test to pull this off. Step 1. Take your phone or your laptop and just run a simple speed test in 3 different rooms. Step 2. Compare the results. If one of those rooms is noticeably lagging behind the others, well, you've successfully found your dead zone. And step 3, how do we fix it? You either reposition your router just a bit to give it a better lighthouse view of that specific room, or you add a mesh extender to bounce the signal into that tricky space. It really is just that straightforward.
And I really want to reassure you on this point. Straight from the source, small moves equal huge differences. Fixing a dead zone doesn't mean you have to do some massive, super expensive overhaul of your whole home network. Honestly, sometimes just repositioning the router a few inches to the left, taking it off the floor, or maybe just moving it away from a metal lamp, That can change absolutely everything.
Part 4. Watch your speed soar. The final takeaway.
So let's bring it all together. You now know you need to clear out strange obstacles like fish tanks, treat your router exactly like a lighthouse, and run that simple 3-room diagnostic test to pinpoint the dead zones. And here's a thought to leave you with. If your Wi-Fi speeds soar today just by making a few of these tiny adjustments, what else in your home or even your workflow just needs a slightly better setup rather than a complete expensive replacement? Honestly, it's pretty amazing what a little optimization can do. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and be sure to subscribe for more tech fixes that actually work. See you next time.